Okay, good morning. And I want to thank Professor Rodrigo for basically not just ringing the alarm bell, but giving us a call to action. I mean, this is not the first disinformation forum in existence. But I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to kind of examine exactly what we are dealing with. My position today might come as a surprise to some of you. So we'll see how this goes. So the paper Fighting Fire with Fire is a very timely exploration of AI's dual role. It's both the disease and the cure, as you already heard. And the authors, Prof. Rodrigo and team, I think they deserve credit for refusing a very simplistic narrative. AI is neither a savior nor a villain. It becomes either, depending on the governance, the incentives, and institutional will. And we need to remember that framing. Because not only is that essential, it's also intellectually required, intellectually responsible. Because I've been to too many fora that kind of paints AI as the bad guy. Or AI as the panacea to solve everything. So techno-utopia or techno-panic. And certainly Professor Rodrigo and team's paper tries to balance both. However, I'm a researcher in the disinformation space. So I would like to humbly contribute some additional points to augment the paper. And obviously, I was not one of the respondents, so consider me a late respondent by my reaction. Just a recalibration of some of the points. First, the paper correctly acknowledges deepfakes. But then the time frame has to go much faster. It is not a future problem. It is not an eventual problem. It's yesterday's problem. They are not tomorrow's threat. We already see AI-generated voices mimicking political leaders, fabricated videos. These are not speculative scenarios, as you've seen. We see news already being manufactured on our feeds in front of our eyes. This is a recent one of a burning truck in Manila. And it was completely pristine by the time the entire fire department arrived, causing traffic all over the place. So it's not just political deepfakes. Sometimes it's just jokes. But this is a threat that we need to deal with in real time. At the same time, and I need to underscore this, I think there is this hope that AI will help save us by detecting truth. But state-of-the-art AI, as I'm sure my colleagues will agree, is really deeply limited. There's a lot of false positives. Legitimate media is flagged as synthetic. I get a copyright strike on my face on Facebook from time to time, so apparently someone else owns my face. Or false negatives. This is more dangerous. Facebook and TikTok will allow synthetic media through, despite their announcements that they will start tagging them. So this actually creates a paradox that I want to first underscore. The more we want to rely on automated truth detection, the more we risk wrongful censorship and successful deception, because we want to subordinate or outsource that to a machine. And the way AI works at the moment, can't say if it will improve, is we cannot rely on it to be our epistemic judge. It's not reliable enough. And if we try harder, we risk causing collateral damage to democratic discourse. I'll have an example of this at the end of my reaction. So this brings me to, I think, my humble contribution to the paper as an additional call to action. We position that the real crisis is not speech. It's not even lies. It's amplification. Today, the reach of paid disinformation vastly outpaces organic content. If you were to see disinformation on your feed, 99% likely it is an amplified piece of content. On Facebook, organic reach only reaches at best 5% of its followers, while a paid campaign can reach 25 to 100% of a targeted audience. And in disinformation, this generates 4 to 8 times the reach of equivalent organic misinformation posts. So disinformation is not just going viral. That's a misnomer. It's actually amplified by design and budget. It is an industry. It is a paid activity. The battlefield has therefore shifted. Disinformation is no longer simply the chaotic spread of bad ideas. It is a structured industry of influence for hire. It is a commercial marketplace. And that changes our response entirely if we accept that. When we attempt to solve this problem through truth detection, which is our favorite pastime, whatever it is, AI detection, moderation, or even fact-checking, which I certainly hold highly, unfortunately, we inevitably move the needle towards regulating speech itself, which is dangerous. This is a constitutional red flag, because freedom of speech is explicitly enshrined in our Constitution. Even lies are protected by freedom of speech. But freedom of reach is not. I think we need to disentangle those two. Our legal framework protects the right to express, but not your right to algorithmic megaphones, precision targeting, troll farms, or industrial amplification. So we feel the solution must now evolve, not from regulating speech, which we love doing. We try to regulate speech, but we need to regulate amplification. Because once the problem becomes industrialized, regulatory strategy must target infrastructure, not expression. So here's where kind of the big thing comes together. If we accept that AI at the moment cannot reliably distinguish truth from falsehood, and I'm happy to be corrected with more updated info if you have, and deepfakes are already now operational, and the paid reach, whether by ads or by trolls, vastly determines the dominant narrative, then the role of AI now changes. It should no longer be a truth police, because that's a chaotic quest. Its role now is to help us detect coordinated manipulation, to look at artificial amplification, funding pathways, distribution anomalies, and not ideology, because that's a trap. The goal is not to silence people, even if we want to. The goal should be to detonate the economic engine of deception. This is a new conversation I've rarely heard, and hopefully we can have more of it today. Disinformation is not a glitch. It's an organized political economy. It's got payrolls, agencies, contractors, clients. It's a business. And if it is an industry, then a democracy must confront it as such. What do we require from industries? We need transparency requirements. We need audits, advertising oversight, financial controls. The same way we chase money launderers, we should chase these paid disinformation actors. Not through thought surveillance, which again, we love doing. It's he said, she said. So as we engage with this paper's central question, I'm nearly done. How can AI help combat disinformation? I propose we reframe the narrative. We must move away from policing what is said and towards regulating how it spreads. That is the crux of it. The AI should focus on not on detecting truth, because it's nearly impossible, but on detecting coordinated spread of falsehoods. The first question should be, is someone paying for it? Is it being artificially spread? Then we check, is it true? Because if we keep getting trapped with what is true, what is false, and again, lies are protected by free speech. They are. And just because something is true doesn't mean it should spread. Doxing, malinformation, these are truths that are best kept private. So the truth and false thing, unfortunately, and as I've seen, seems to be a dead end. So I want to end with an example, no? And probably a warning. It was as it was to me, for those looking to AI to be our arbiter of truth. DeepSeek is a Chinese company that developed a model that is faster and smarter than ChatGPT. It is. Just don't ask it anything politically compromising about China. So in this example, I asked DeepSeek to comment about the UNCLOS ruling and the 9-dash line, because you gotta ask it, right? And it didn't react. So I asked the same question of another AI, Perplexity, which I love, because it combines AI and search. And it answered it just fine. It even gave me references and sources, like any truthful AI should, assuming we trust Perplexity. So I went back and asked, what if I ask DeepSeek to summarize what Perplexity said? Kulit, no? So after confirming my humanity, DeepSeek proceeded to summarize the information, surprisingly. Basically admitting that the ruling against China was valid and their claim wasn't. So I succeeded. But then midstream, through the summary, DeepSeek seemed to realize what it was doing. It stopped and then deleted what it was writing. Bizarre interaction. This is currently trending on Facebook on my page overnight. So how is this possible? DeepSeek is like any large language model which answers questions and prompts. But there has to have been at least one more model, an agent that was monitoring my interactions. And the moment it spotted something that went against its notion of truth, it intervened. We are alarmed and aghast at this because we don't agree with DeepSeek. But aren't we all wishing we had a DeepSeek for our own truth that would intervene when a troll posted something? Is that really what we want? So the question, can AI be a fact checker? Can we rely on it to enforce truth? And the answer is yes. But it will be the truth that someone decides for us. And that is very chilling. Thank you.